Hi, my name is Ben, and this is Comic Book Breakdown episode 34.5, Megaman Legends Timelines. In the farthest future that the Timelines one-shots takes us to, the world is flooded. We find a new Mega Man and Roll on a flying ship visiting a small island. Mega Man explored an ancient ruin and finds our blue-helmeted mech! They are back, baby! It is not operational, but it is in one piece. Good for you, my friend. Neither of these adventurers recognizes this piece of technology. They visit Mayor Amelia, who grants them access to the Ancient Technology Archive. Using the bits and pieces there, they manage to access the Met's memory, and we see quick flashes of the previous Mega Men. But one moment stands out in particular, a shadowed, corrupted image of a figure saying, "System Crisis, Unlimited Energy." A glowing light held between their eye catches Mega Man's attention. Is that a refractor? Roll gets excited. If that is a refractor, if this thing knows that it can show them how refractors are made, they can solve the energy crisis. They might have just discovered the legendary Mother Lode, which doesn't put them any closer to finding Roll's parents, but Mega Man assures her that they will keep looking. Suddenly, the wall explodes in as a mech suit breaks through. Surrounding it are these little Lego minifigure-looking dudes. The top of the mech pops open and a young woman comes out who is named Bone. Bone invites Mega Man to work with her, and she'll even graciously let him bring his little girlfriend along. And of course, he turns her down, but by then it's too late. Bon's guys have grabbed the Met and are taking off. Trombone? I suppose Trombone feels like a Japanese pun name, while Bon feels like that's how it should be pronounced based on its spelling. I'm going to go with Bon. Bon runs to her brother, Teisel. Teiselbon? Teiselbon. Now he sounds German. And she asks him where their airship is. They got the thing, they need to move. Teisel doesn't know. Their little brother, Bon, okay, so Bon, that makes sense, was supposed to meet them here for the pickup, and clearly he didn't make it. This has allowed Mega Man to catch up with them. He steals the Met back, and for several pages, both sides go back and forth, fighting and stealing it. Roll joins in, but it all culminates in the Servbots, the little Legos dudes, merging together to create a single giant Servbot. I've written here that it shall ops Mega Man, and I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I'm assuming I said something like it shoots at Mega Man or it scoops up Mega Man, but then it continues with Roll blows it up with grenades, shattering it into its individual units. So I believe it scoops up Mega Man in its hands and then she blows it up, freeing him. And I probably auto-corrected to it shall ops. Sorry, everybody. Ugh. But the explosion also knocks the Met off of a cliffside. In her mech suit, Tron tries to catch it, but misses. The weight of her suit then cracks the cliff face. She hops back to safety, but the fallen cliff lands on the Met. The Bonne Group retreats. Thankfully, Mega Man and Roll didn't quit quite so easily. They not only find the Met, but they fixed it up! Hey! Except for the blue patch, which Roll kinda liked. Unfortunately, the information that they were looking for just wasn't there. After the clip that they saw, the Met got distracted by some kind of energy butterfly, and it chases it away. It just walks off. But Mega Man and Roll rally, happy to continue working together. They turn back to the Met, but he's gone, off on another adventure. Yeah, Mega Man smiles. I wonder who he'll meet next. The blue-patched Met marches on, images of the various Mega Men hanging in the air around him. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. This was my favorite issue of Timelines. Let's run through the bad real quick so we can glory and luxuriate in the good. First off, we have ditched any pretense of philosophy that the previous issues have had. This Mega Man has none of the angst that we saw in the previous Mega Man comics. Admittedly, this issue has something special that offsets the need for that drama, but still, this series has had two through lines. One, a Mega Man worrying about whether or not he should fight to protect people or destroy evil, and then two, a blue-patched mech just kind of wandering around minding its own business. And we've only got one of those things here, so I'm a little bit frustrated by that. Second, the use of the blue-patched mech as a plot device was incredibly disappointing and frustrating. I do not know how much time has passed from Mega Man OG to Legends, but this little dude has survived hundreds, potentially thousands of years, and clearly a major ecological disaster. The world is flooded, right? Just to have his story end with, well, he wasn't useful, he didn't help solve a problem, he didn't achieve sentience or something, or like take over the world, he's just still around, chasing butterflies. I mean, maybe that's the philosophical underpinning. That at the end of the day, Mega Man's continued war and his unfortunate fate to keep fighting has allowed this little dumb fella to just live his life in relatively peaceful ignorance. Is this a metaphor for all of our lives, defended or fought for by soldiers in wars that we can't possibly comprehend? Floopin' whatever, it's a Mega Man comic. You know why I loved this comic, though? It was funny! And not in a, like, actual laugh-out-loud style and funny, but in a I cracked a dumb smile the whole time kind of funny. When Mega Man and Roll ask Tron how she heard about the Mother Lode, the comic immediately cuts to a pair of guards going, "Did you see those two kids? They were running around like they found the Mother Lode." And one of the serve bots is walking by and heard them, and then reported it back. Or during the fight, Mega Man and Tron both grab the Met at the same time, and she gets embarrassed because they're holding hands briefly, which freaks her out because she's a teenage girl and he's a cute boy. The book is also perfectly witty in a really childlike, innocent way. One of the serve bots trips Mega Man with a tree branch at one point and goes, "Why don't you stick around?" And Floop, yeah, that's what I want to see. Like, every previous Mega Man lacked puns or jokes or any sense, honestly, of lighthearted fun. Yes, they had drama. Yes, they had philosophical underpinnings and angst and, oh, it's so hard to be Mega Man and all the cost of war. But I gotta tell you, I just prefer the fun that we have here. Author David Oxford has a history with Mega Man, and I think that it really shows. While I am as uneducated about Legends as I am on Mega Man Z or Mega Man ZX, I didn't do a single bit of research on this. I don't have a bunch of questions about lore or who the heck anyone is or what is going on. His story feels very comfortable in this world. It feels like he knows this world and he knows this is what I need to present to you in order to understand it and tell you something that is interesting, as opposed to, here's a 22-page lore dump on Mega Man Zero who does nothing and has no emotional reaction to anything. Please go buy the next game. And that's great! I think this so works for me. Artist Mic Fong does a great job on this comic as well. He is another talent that has worked on Mega Man comics before, and his stuff just feels great. The comedy works, the dramas work, his mechs look just as good as the people, and that's not always an easy thing to do. The only complaint that I would argue I have about his work here is some of his paneling and a non-judicious use of it. We get a lot of really small, cramped panels during the action sequences of the comic, and it's clear that he spent too much of his page earlier in the comic. There is one really nice shot of like a fisheye camera panel showing Mega Man going into the ruins, which is impressive. Like, drawing in general can be really challenging, especially drawing something really well. Drawing a fisheye lens shot? That's ridiculous. You don't have to do that. But he did, and it works, and it looks really good. And then the comedy, like I said, the comedy works so well. We get a whole page of Mega Man opening up a treasure chest. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Earlier on in the comic, when they discover the Met, we get a whole page shot of Mega Man opening the treasure chest. And I'm sorry, are we in a Zelda Timelines comic book? And we don't even get the reveal of what is inside it in that page. They save it until later in the comic. This much page space could have allowed the action to breathe more and flowed better if it had been shrunk down a little bit and the story compacted a little bit more. Or if you're going to save it for a reveal, save the reveal for it's the Blue Met, because we think this is an important thing. And I would probably argue and complain that the Blue Met ends up being unimportant in the overall narrative, and so why would you do a big spend on your reveal? But still, I do think that the way the pages were laid out could probably be rearranged a little bit to help sell the action later in the comic better if we hadn't sacrificed so much of the page space earlier in the comic, accomplishing not a whole lot. Ultimately, these complaints are really small potatoes for me, though. I super enjoyed Legends. Like I said, I think this is my favorite out of the entire series. Talk about ending on a high note. So this might be the end of the Megaman Timelines comics, but it is not the end of my coverage. Next time we are going to do one more episode where I wrap everything up, kind of maybe give you a little bit more backstory on why the heck I read these comic books anyways, and close out my thoughts on the series overall. See ya soon for the end of Megaman Timelines. If you enjoyed this episode of Breakdown, please make sure to hit that like button, and if you are not subscribed to the show, then click on that as well. I love getting feedback, and I would really appreciate it if you did so. If you have any questions, concerns, or would like to suggest a comic or a series to me, Breakdown can be found on Facebook, Instagram, and on a variety of podcast platforms, with links in the description for this episode below, as well as the email cbbreakdown@gmail.com. Thank you for your time and attention.